Okay, so today what I really want to talk about um, is, aside from answering your questions, which I so appreciate when you send them, is this question of what sets you apart from your competition. So I like to pay attention to signs, a little woo-woo, but also just real life, things you're like, wow, that came up twice in 2 days. I'm going to pay attention to that, right? So twice in 2 days, it came to me the question, what sets you apart from your competition? And two kind of random ways too. Like I was doing a training for something, and the other thing was like a free download from some random email from some person I've been following for years. And I never opened her emails, and I was like, what's this? So the question, what sets you apart? And what sets you apart from your competition is worth sitting down with a pen and a paper and just writing a little bit. What I did is I sort of let the question sink in. I actually took a bath, because I've been taking these baths to soak my aching feet after weddings. And I got out of the tub the other day, and it was just like, I must go sit and write, because a few different random things came to my mind. Because in my mind, I know what sets me apart, right? In my mind, I know these things. In my heart, I know these things. But on paper, I had not done this in a long time. So anyway, I want to really highly encourage you to sit down and write. You can think about it for a while. You don't have to sit down right this second and write. Although if you are game for doing that, I highly challenge you to do that. But sit down and write what sets you apart. So for example, right, it doesn't have to be that you're the best or better than the competition either, right? Just really be real with yourself about what sets you apart. So you can say, for example, I drive a crappy old minivan, right? You could say, I don't have too many gigs that I get overwhelmed by the amount of work I have, because I'm really just doing 15 weddings this year or 20 weddings this year or whatever it is that you do. You could say, I love flowers more than anybody else I know, right? So these are benign, right? But just anything, like anything that you think sets you apart from your competition. And then you can turn this into a message. So for example, you'll see me arrive in my little minivan stuffed full of flowers that I just spent 3 days designing for you and your big day. And believe me, it's not only those 3 days where you get my full attention. I love my work, and I spend hours designing recipes and custom orders for you. So this is literally just like a little thing I just wrote up, right? This is nothing special. But do you see how you can take, by just writing down a few things that set you apart. Again, they don't have to be positives, right? Like having a crappy minivan and not having enough gigs and loving flowers, not all that special. But if you can just be true with yourself about like what it is about you, why it is you do this, what sets you apart, you can turn it into something. So like I did this the other day for my real flower business side of my business. And it's like, what sets me apart from the competition? I'm a real florist with real experience, right? But it's not just my experience, it's the type of experience. I don't do luxury weddings. I don't do $50,000 floral budgets. I have a small profitable floral design business, right? I've learned how to make a profit off of, for 17 years, right? Off of smaller weddings from that started at like, I'd be lucky if people spent $1,500 with me to, having $10,000 weddings sometimes, but most of the time doing weddings that are between like $3,000 and $5,000. So that's what sets me apart, right? I don't have a business model that's unattainable for the average florist, where you have to do luxury weddings or have referrals from big wig planners in order to get to my level, right? That's not what I do. I have actually, by not being a luxury person, by not being someone who brags about a 6-figure income in a floral industry, which is really hard to do, right? Not impossible, but you got to sell a lot. You got to do way more weddings than I do. That actually sets me apart. So it could be a negative. You could go, but Allison, you don't do luxury weddings. You have not made it in this industry, right? It's not my goal to do that. And it's not most people's goals to do that, right? When you have somebody who's going, oh, I've got this $20,000 floral budget this weekend, Are you, do you aspire to that? Are you like, God, I wish I had that? Or are you like, I do not know how I would handle that. I do not know where I would put all those flowers. I would have to rent a van. I would need to hire in more people. What does it make you feel? So you got to be aligned with your own goals. You can do luxury weddings, by the way. I'm not dissing your luxury wedding dreams. If you want to do that, do that. But that's a more exclusive level of what we do in this business. That's not for everybody. Most people will not do that. Most people are not going to do $20,000 floral budgets every weekend or however many times a year with referrals from that, wedding planner who trusts you implicitly and only brings you ideal clients, right? That is not, not the truth of what goes on out there. So this is why I want you to just really take a few minutes, take some time, go for a walk, do some yoga, take your own little bubble bath, do whatever, to just think about what it is that sets you apart from your competition, and then put it into writing, and then do something with that. So I mentioned in August when I was live, I want to kind of help walk you through these last few months of the year, keep you moving through that course that you started earlier this year or you started a couple of years ago, get you primed up for doing it again in January. So working on your website is one of the things that I'm always talking about, right? One of the things in the Art of Good Business, all roads lead back to, put it on your website. So if you can take a few minutes, because it really probably won't take you more than a few minutes to sit down and, again, handwrite this. Don't type this on a computer. Handwrite it. If you want to record a video of yourself doing it so that you can play it back to yourself, whatever you can do to really put these words in a heartfelt way, what you do, what sets you apart, and then put it someplace. Put it someplace. You can do a video. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on your website. Of course, if you do it on Instagram, I'm going to say then just add it to your website, right? But be clear about what sets you apart. And it doesn't have to be many, many paragraphs. Do something that's even just a few sentences like I did, right? What sets me apart is I'm balancing my family life and, my work life. And my work life is this amazing, outlet for me where I get to be creative and do all this. And it's where my heart is, right? So whatever it is true for you, it doesn't have to be only positive, because that can be the challenge sometimes with these sorts of challenges, these sorts of exercises. Hey, what sets you apart from the competition? And you're just I'm smaller than them. I'm less experienced than them. I'm really, really trying to grow my business, right? But dive deeper into those things and excavate, pull back that mess of I'm not good enough or I'm not actually all that special, and get to the heart of what actually does make you special. And like I always say, it's not because you grew up loving flowers. It's not because you grew up in your grandma's garden, right? Those are not the things that set you apart from your competition. So put a couple of these things in writing and then put them on your website this month, this week, before the end of the month though. I'll give you till the end of the month. And like I said, since Sarah and I know it's still September, I will be live again in October. So I'm going to come back here again this month with you guys. I'm going to set a date so you have a heads up on it. So if you want to try to schedule time to join me, you can do that. But I will be live again this month to keep moving through all of these things. So if you have questions about anything, you can get in touch with me. You can always leave a question here or you can email me directly and I will get back to you, because like I say all the time, it's not about starting the course, it's about getting results. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of this year. A few really simple, easy live streams, a few simple, easy challenges, and then hopefully you will join me back here in January to do it all over again, which I am really looking forward to doing. I always look forward to doing this course live with you guys. So thank you very much for being here. As always, feel free to be in touch with questions. Thank you so much for being here. Keep doing beautiful work, and I will see you later this month for a second live stream. Okay, bye.